was your Christmas and New Year's Eve? And
It was fantastic, yeah, it was lovely.
did you spend with your family?
Yes, you know, I spent a nice break with my family, nice and relaxed. And
Did you travel to anywhere or just stayed at home with some family? I mean, did you go to any winter holidays or stuff like that?
no, it was mainly at home really. Just spent a nice Christmas at home. We had family from England come over from Stoke, and it was nice to have like a big family round, you know, the dinner table. It's very nice.
Great. How long have you been playing water polo?
Oh,
Do you remember?
I've been playing water polo since, well, I made my juniors debut back in 2012, I believe. So therefore, I've been playing it for around 6 years now.
And what's the highest level you have reached since?
The highest level is basically at a local level for
So like the regional volume?
like an amateur club, yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been playing for Cwm Draig?
It's been, yeah, about 6 years now.
6 years.
Yes.
And what was your main reason to start playing water polo?
Basically,
Just a sport.
I think the main reason was that I used to do swimming as a sport before that, and then I think doing swimming, I did swimming since 7 years of age, and I wanted to try and add another element to my ability. So therefore, I decided new challenge, new sport. So I said I'll give water polo a go, and some friends really just brought me into the Cwm Draig. You know, they asked me, well, you know, this is a club in Aberdeen that train on a Thursday. You should come along, and I've just been going since then, really.
Great. Yeah, and why did you? So you already said that. Why did you choose to play for Cwm Draig? Did you have any other motivations to play for this club, or were there anyone else who influenced you except the teammates or your friends?
Yeah, so at the time, the then teammates of the club did persuade me to go to a training session, and at the time I met the head coach Daryl, who was very, you could tell from the start that he knew the sport very well. He was very knowledgeable. You know, he had a lot of, you know, pedigree in terms of tactics, in terms of how to train against to play our potential. So therefore, I think that having, you know, that good of a coach, and, you know, the club being local as well, I think those things combined just made it, you know, a commitment for me, really.
Okay. Do you remember the first session with the club? So how did the others interact with you, and was it difficult for you to settle in? I assume not, because your friends
Yeah.
brought you in, but
Yeah, it was kind of like, because as with anything really, you tend to, you know, stick to people that you know at first. So, you know, I stuck by this my mate Gareth, because he's the one who brought me into the club, and I think the players got fairly comfortable with me. I was obviously still learning with the sport at the time, so they had to be patient with me. As I learned the rules, learned about strategy and stuff. So in terms of that, they were patient and they were very sociable as well, I feel, yes.
Oh, great. Yeah, and since your first training with Cwm Draig, I surely have had a lot of unforgettable moments.
Yes.
With the team. You have surely played several games in leagues and cups, but what were your most memorable moments? So those could be like, yeah, just tell me your best matches you've ever had, and any sort of activities you had with the club outside the trainings also. Yeah,
I think the three best memories I have with the club would be, the first one would be when I won the Players Player of the Year award for the senior men's, and that was quite a nice thing to win, because they recognised that I worked hard for the club. I had a lot of devotion and commitment and a lot of passion for the club, and they recognised that, and they recognised that the roles I did outside playing the sport, outside the field, you know, also benefited the club very highly. So they all kind of decided together that they were going to vote me as a Players of the Year in 2016, and I thought that was such a nice surprise, and that's one of my fondest memories.
Yeah, I saw the photos on Facebook of the whole stuff.
Yes, I was very surprised, and I was delighted to win it. Also, I was also assigned captaincy of that year, and that was based on the fact that I was, again, committed to the club, devoted to the club, and the fact that I would work as hard as I can in training and in playing as well, and the fact that I knew the leagues quite well as the more senior player at the time, and I could gel the players together, impart my knowledge on how the leagues were played. So, being assigned the captaincy was also a very big moment for me. And the most recent memory, which is the best, I feel, is winning the Knockout Cup for the Bristol and West Water Polo League. Daryl he's a fair man. He's a fair man. He has this passion to get the very best out of every player, and people can tell that instantly. He shows that real passion and devotion, to the club and to the players, and I saw that from day one. And since then I've been dedicated to working as hard as I can for the team and also for him as well. And I just feel that he's a man who is a real clubman. He does, he puts himself in, forward for the club, and he puts stuff, ahead of himself to serve the club, and that's just an amazing servant of somebody to have at the club.
Okay, great. And what made Cwm Draig stand out for you?
Cwm Draig was, it represented a different kind of challenge in sport for me. Obviously at the time that I wasn't too sure what water polo was at the time. I was quite young. And just that, I go back to the first food training sessions, it was just a different kind of intensity, a different kind of feel to the club that was different to other sports.
How could the club become better? How do you see Cwm Draig's future?
I think that they could certainly improve a degree if we enhance our online profile of the club. Things like having probably interviews for players, pre-match and post-match, that'd be really good to have. Having more stuff with the media, like video media, just to show a bit more what the club's about in terms of how we train and match highlights and stuff. And generally, I think it's a quite well-run club, and we've gone from block to block, just developing more and more progress every year, and I feel we're going at a good pace. And I feel just that things like giving us more video media and stuff, would give a more of a real sports club feel, and I think that would benefit all the players as well, and everybody associated with the club.
How could you evaluate last year's performance in general?
I think that we made a substantial amount of progress. When we first started the senior men's squad, not so long ago, I think it was three years ago now, and we were basically we were the minnows of the league. We were in Division 2. We were the team that was basically the punching bags, because we were the most inexperienced. But since then, we've adapted to the league. We've become more versatile. We've locked horns with teams who are much more older than us in terms of like national development, and we've gone to their pools and we've beaten them, and that's happened in our second season, in our third season, and it's come to this season now where we finished at the highest position, in our whole history, which is fourth, which is really good considering the pedigree of teams that are in that league. And it looks like that we can only go from there. And also, of course, as I mentioned earlier, that winning the Bristol and West Water Polo League Knockout Cup was a brilliant achievement. The first silverware that the club has won for the senior men's point of view, and that was just an exceptional. The amount of teams that we knocked out and to win it with a handicap against us as well was just showed how much, how well the club has progressed.
We know our opponents for this year and know the league and everything.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for 2018?
I think that, as I mentioned just now, I think that we can progress on from our position this season, which was 4th, to possibly finish 3rd, even 2nd perhaps. I think looking at the teams, it's the league has been altered slightly, so now we're in Division 1 and now there's more teams involved, and it'll be quite interesting what happens because of the modified settings of the league. But I think that we can, as a team collectively, we can achieve more success this season and maybe even retain the knockout cup. The hardest opposition last season was Devonport and of course Harlequins. Harlequins are now obviously gone up, so I think that of course league has changed now a little bit, so there's teams in our league now which in our section that I haven't faced before, so possibly they may be a threat, but we'll take every game as it comes, and we'll see how well we can do. But I think that we can definitely, bounce back and achieve more success this season.
Great. What are your plans for the future regarding water polo?
I have done a level 1 in water polo, and that was, of course, I couldn't have done that without the support of the club, and hopefully I can do a level 2 and become a more proficient coach in water polo. So, of course, yes, as I said, doing the sports coaching degree is kind of my my way of is my way of life, really. It's my sort of my niche, really. So combining the element of coaching water polo is like a natural sort of move, I think, and going on to coaching level 2 and then maybe level 3, I think that would be my sort of my pathway in progression in the sport. Dwi'n fi yw Matthew Griffiths, a dwi'n chwarae am Cwm Draig Polo Club. Dwi'n dwlu chwarae am Cwm Draig oherwydd mae clwb arbennig o dda, a ni wedi ennill y gwobr blwyddyn hyn, a ni gallu mynd am mwy chwyddiannus hethau naw yn y blwyddyn nesaf.
Diolch am fawr.